What is going on, everyone? My name is the California Cougar, and welcome back to another video today here on this channel. It is Saturday. That is going to be my new upload day from now on, pretty much. So, yeah, today I'm going to be talking about something that I did mention previously in a video. It was in my Q&A video. I believe Justin Williams asked me a question. I think it was, what are my dream vacations? So I did mention that I was going to do a top 10 video of that. And that's exactly what I'm doing today. Today I am going over my top 10 dream vacation spots that I want to visit at least once in my life at some point. Now, a couple caveats to this list. First one, obviously, it's a place that I have never been to before. I think that's kind of obvious. And another one, I decided not to pick any destination in the U.S. because for the most part, I've visited a lot of U.S. destinations that I want to visit, aside from maybe Niagara Falls and New York City maybe, but that's really it, honestly. There are some cities that I haven't been to that I would like to visit, but I mean the two main ones are Niagara Falls and New York City. Hawaii, I've also been to Hawaii. I know that's a bucket list destination for a lot of people. So yeah, Hawaii would break the place I haven't been to rule. So yeah, that's a couple caveats there. So these are all foreign destinations that I've never been to. Also, I guess Disney World. I would visit Disney World again. I've been there though, so yeah. But yeah, these are the top 10 foreign destinations that I would love to visit, and just destinations in general that I really want to get to before I die. So there are some honorable mentions, and there's a lot of them. It was tough to narrow this list down to 10, but I had to do it somehow. So starting off, in Central America, both Costa Rica and Panama just missed this list. I would love to visit both of them, but yeah, not quite enough to make it onto the list. Cancun is another one that I would love to visit at some point. Also, there's a bunch of Caribbean destinations. One Caribbean destination did make the list, but a couple that did not are Antigua, St. Bartholomew, I think that's how you pronounce it, St. Lucia, St. John's. Bermuda's more out in the Atlantic, but that one would be an honorable mention. Puerto Rico, maybe a few other destinations. I don't know all of them, but the U.S. Virgin Islands, Trinidad and Tobago would be another one. So yeah, a lot of them there. South America, some honorable mentions. Chile and Argentina are probably the two biggest ones. Also, Brazil is another one that I would love to visit that just didn't quite make the list, mainly for Rio de Janeiro. I know that's a big bucket list destination for many people. In Europe, there's a bunch of them in Europe. Portugal, Spain. This one's going to surprise a lot of people because I know this one's a top destination that people want to visit. But France. France did not make my list. It was close. It was between that and another European country, but I ultimately went with that other European country. But yeah, France. I would love to visit France. Paris, Nice, which is a city in southern France. A lot of people forget about that because of Paris. But yeah, France is another place I'd love to visit. The Netherlands, Germany, Belgium, Sweden, all the Scandinavian countries. Copenhagen in Denmark. Norway is another one. Austria. Italy is a big one that a lot of people might be surprised did not make my list. Istanbul is another one. Greece is another big one that I would love to visit, but just didn't quite make the list. There's a bunch of others as well, but I can't really remember the names of them off the top of my head. Alright, so moving on to Africa. And there's a couple here that made my honorable mentions. The main one is Morocco, and that's because, back in 2017, I had a girlfriend who spent the first half of that year in Morocco, and she was telling me how great it was, and it's a country I would love to visit. So yeah, she was hoping that she would take me there at some point. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. We've since broken up, but maybe someday Morocco will be on my travel list. Madagascar, that's another one that I almost put on the list. what's it? Let's see. There was one more. Kenya, Kilimanjaro in particular. Kenya and Tanzania didn't quite make it, but came very close. So now we move over to Asia. Asia, of course, is a massive continent. It's the largest continent. There's a bunch of destinations here, and a lot of people are going to be surprised that many of them didn't make the list. So you got India, you got Nepal. Like, I'd love to visit the Himalayas. I think that would be cool. The Maldives. The Maldives are an island chain like off the coast of India that I would love to visit. It looks absolutely beautiful. It's got overwater bungalows, but there's another destination I decided to go with that has overwater bungalows and is an island chain out in the middle of the ocean. Hint, hint. It's on my list. But yeah, the Maldives, just missed it. I already mentioned India. Thailand is another one I'd love to visit. China. Like, there's a couple destinations in China I'd like to visit, like Hong Kong, maybe Beijing, mainly for the Great Wall, but that's really it. Shanghai, I guess. China, I'm not quite as invested in outside of, like, Hong Kong, Beijing, maybe Guangzhou, and maybe Shanghai, but that's really it. The Philippines. The Philippines are a country that I've always been kind of invested in. Indonesia, of course, is a dream destination for many. Didn't quite make my list. Taiwan. Taiwan's another country that I've always had interest in. And yes, John Cena, it is a country. I'd like to point that out. But yeah, it's a pretty cool country that I would love to visit. South Korea is another one. Japan. Japan's the big one that I had to leave off my list. But yeah, like Tokyo, Mount Fuji, all that. Osaka, I think would be cool. But just didn't quite make my list. It was close. And then there's a couple of other Pacific nations that just didn't quite make my list. Guam is one of them, and another one is Fiji, and another one is Caledonia. A lot of people haven't heard of this place. It's a really long island. Like, it kind of goes like diagonal like this. It's just north of New Zealand. And the main city is Noumea. You can actually get there from both New Zealand and Australia, I believe, and even Japan, I think, has flights down there. Unfortunately, there's no easy access from the U.S., but yeah, Caledonia looks like a pretty cool country that I'd love to visit. And then the last one, the Cook Islands, just missed my list. There's a bunch of other destinations I'd love to visit as well that wouldn't quite make the list, but those are the ones I came up with off the top of my head. So, let's get right into this top 10. So, starting off at number 10 is a country in South America. This is another country that my girlfriend back in 2017 visited. She visited back in 2012, so this was before we were in a relationship, but that's Peru. Peru is a country that looks absolutely beautiful on paper. I mean, it's got big sand dunes, it's got rainforests, it's got a few beaches here and there. Not really that extensive, but it's got a few. Lima is a gorgeous looking city that I'd love to visit and travel around at some point. But the main reason I want to visit Peru is, well, there's two things. One, I think this one's pretty obvious. Machu Picchu, one of the ancient wonders of the world, the Incan civilization that was abandoned back in like the 15th century or something like that. And then it was rediscovered in like the 19th century. I don't even remember exactly when it was, but yeah, my girlfriend was telling me history of Machu Picchu. But yeah, Machu Picchu, like up in the Andes, kind of near Cusco, like up at 9,000, 10,000 feet. I don't remember exactly what altitude it was at, but somewhere around there. But yeah, pretty cool ruin that I would love to visit. Also, there's the Rainbow Mountain in the Andes. I think that would be cool. And it's called Rainbow Mountain because it actually looks like a rainbow. It's pretty sweet, actually. It's up at like 17,000 feet. So you'd have to acclimate to altitude, but it's a country that I could visit. I live at 5,000 feet, so I don't think that would be too bad for me. Or at least after a little bit. I'd probably have to acclimate to it a little bit, but yeah. So yeah, all that, Peru. Great, or a fantastic looking country. Like, I really want to visit it. It's an 8-hour flight from Los Angeles, so maybe one day I can go there. So yeah, Peru, number 10. Coming in at number 9, this is the European country that replaced France on my list. I originally had France. I ended up switching with this country the more I thought about it, and that's the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom, I mean, of course, London is probably the main center point of the country that a lot of people visit, but there's more than just London. There's like Manchester. I'd love to visit Manchester. Blackpool, I think, would be cool. Blackpool Pleasure Beach, like that looks like a fun little amusement park. Alton Towers and Thorpe Park are other amusement parks there that I'd love to visit. But yeah, you also have like Scotland. I think Scotland would be really cool. My girlfriend went there as well. She said it's very pretty. So yeah, would love to go to the UK at some point. And of course, London is the main attraction. And you could get to Paris from there. Like there's a train that goes through the English Channel in a what's called a channel, which is an underwater tunnel basically. But yeah, I would love to visit. I would absolutely love to visit London and check out the rest of the UK. Maybe go see a soccer game in Manchester or something like that. So yeah, the UK comes in at number 8. Would love to visit it at some point. And of course, a lot of hot girls with British accents. Yeah, just thought I'd throw that out there. So yeah, coming in at number 8. That was my number 9. I don't remember if I actually said that. But yeah, coming in at number 8. This is a country that is also pretty accessible from the west coast of the U.S., and that is Australia. It's actually an entire continent. But yes, Australia is a country that I would love to visit at some point. A lot of people talk about the east coast of Australia, where like Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane, and Cairns, and all that are. But Perth, I think Perth looks pretty cool too. Like, you have some access to the outback from there. So yeah, there's that, and of course, I mean Sydney, of course. Like one of the main reasons I want to visit it. You have the Sydney Harbour Bridge, the Sydney Zoo, Bondi Beach. I hear is a fantastic beach down there. Melbourne, I hear, is a pretty cool city. Brisbane, I think they're hosting the Olympics in like 2032 or something like that. They're hosting the Olympics down in Brisbane, so yeah, maybe I can go down to Brisbane and catch that. And then of course you have Cairns, which gives you access to the Great Barrier Reef, which I hope one day I can snorkel that. That's a bucket list item for sure. Snorkel the Great Barrier Reef. So yeah, Australia, pretty cool country. Despite all the poisonous and venomous creatures there, like I'm not afraid. I'm not that scared of them. So yeah, like even though they're some of the most dangerous creatures in the world, that doesn't scare me. Would love to visit Australia. And of course, kangaroos. Would love to pet a kangaroo. I think that would be awesome. So yeah, that's number 8. Coming in at number 7. This is another destination that might surprise some people that it's on here, but there's a few reasons, but it's on here. But yeah, my number 7 is Egypt. Egypt, of course, like the main attraction there is the pyramids, but I mean, you also have Luxor. I think Luxor looks like a pretty cool city. There's a couple of other pyramid complexes there aside from the ones in Giza. There's also the city of Cairo, which is just literally right next to Giza. I'm actually kind of surprised Giza and Cairo aren't put together on the map, at least when it comes to the pyramids. But yeah, I think Cairo would be a cool city to look around and tour. There's also the Red Sea. I think the Red Sea would be cool to visit. There's a couple cool resorts there that I think would be awesome. And then, of course, you have the Nile River as well. Like, the Nile River, longest river in the world. Would love to go on, like, a Nile River cruise, maybe from Egypt or maybe from Cairo, like, down to Luxor or Aswan or something like that. But, of course, the main attraction there is the pyramids, along with the Sphinx. I think those would be awesome. Another ancient wonder of the world. So, yeah, can't really go wrong with Egypt, except that it's dry as hell, probably hot as hell there. But, yeah, other than that, would love to visit Egypt at some point. So, yeah, Egypt, number 7. Coming in at number 6. Number 6. This is a country that's on a lot of people's bucket lists, and for pretty good reason. My number 6 is New Zealand. New Zealand. Particularly the South Island is what people always talk about. Like, it's beautiful landscapes. The beaches there are fantastic from what I hear. There's lots of sheep there. Christchurch, I hear, is a pretty cool city. But yeah, like the North Island too, I think would be spectacular. I mean, you have the city of Wellington, the capital of New Zealand. You also have the city of Auckland. I'd love to visit the city of Auckland. They have flights there from LA. Maybe one day I can get down into Auckland, maybe visit the Auckland Tower, maybe go zorbing. I hear zorbing's a pretty big thing there. Like, you get into this ball, they fill like a little bit with water, and then it's like almost like riding a water slide, except really weird and really crazy at the same time. At least that's what I heard. So yeah, would love to do that in New Zealand. There's also a couple rivers there that I'd love to visit. So yeah, New Zealand, number 6. Fantastic looking country. Oh, I want to go there so bad. All right, so now we get into the top 5. Now, 5 and 4 were tough to place here. Like, I flip-flopped them for so long because both of them I would absolutely love to visit. But number 5, I decided to go with this destination, and it's the one Caribbean destination that made my list, and that's St. Martin. St. Martin. There's really only one reason I want to visit, and that, of course, like, I'm a big aviation enthusiast, and I love plane spotting. I love looking at airplanes, all that stuff. And so, yeah, like, anyone who is an aviation enthusiast should know about Mahu Beach at St. Martin. It's literally right off the approach end of the runway at Princess Juliana International Airport, which is the main airport in St. Martin. Like, you get Boeing 737s coming over there all the time. Like, airplanes the size of Airbus A330s. I think A330 is the biggest one there. They used to have 747s flying in there, but they don't anymore, and that's really unfortunate. That's mainly because KLM was like the only airline that actually had 747s flying into there, and they have retired the 747 because of the pandemic. So yeah, they decided not to fly it anymore. Also, they have 787s now, which are newer and more fuel efficient. So yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. But yeah, would love to visit St. Martin, mainly for Mahu Beach. It's a huge dream of mine as an aviation enthusiast and hopefully an upcoming pilot as well. I might even fly into St. Martin on an airplane as a pilot at one point. Would love to do that. So yeah, St. Martin comes in at number 6. Or number 5. Jeez, why did I say number 6? Alright, number 4. We're getting to the top 4 here. Number 4 for me is South Africa. South Africa for a couple reasons. One, I want to go on an African safari, and I know I mentioned Kenya and Tanzania in my honorable mentions. I would much prefer South Africa, I think. I think I'd rather go on one of their safaris. I know Kenya and Tanzania have the more popular safaris, but to me, South Africa just sounds much more appealing. Plus, you also have Cape Town down there, which is like one of the top cities on many people's bucket lists. Victoria Falls isn't really in South Africa. It's more in like Zimbabwe or Zambia, one of those two countries. Might be on the border of them. I don't remember for sure. I'd look that up. But yeah, like they have like these safari packages where it includes like South African safaris at like the Cougar National Park or whatever it's called. And then that package also includes a visit to Victoria Falls and a visit to Cape Town as well. Would love to do that. I think that would be awesome. It's expensive, but it sounds awesome. They also have dinner cruises in Cape Town as well. And like Seal Beach, I think Seal Beach is somewhere in South Africa where they have like a bunch of sea lions there. You might see a great white or two, like if you go on a cruise down there. I think that would be really fun to watch, really fun to see. I think Table Mountain in South Africa, I think it's called Table Mountain, like just next to Cape Town, where you like overlook the city of Cape Town. Would love to look at that. There's also a train ride from like Johannesburg down to Cape Town as well that I would love to take. Would be very scenic. So yeah, South Africa. There's so many things that I can think of down there that would be amazing. So yeah, comes in at number 4. Number 3. And we're getting into the top 3 now. And these 3 were locks. I mean, all 3 of these, like, these 3 places are the top 3 places I want to do before I die. Like, these would be, like, my priority. If I had to choose 3 places that I could do before I die, these would be the top 3. But yeah, coming in at number 3 is Dubai, or really all of the United Arab Emirates, because I think Abu Dhabi looks just as cool. But yeah, Dubai is the main city there that I want to visit. And you have the Burj Khalifa, the Burj Al Arab, which is like the 7-star hotel over there. I'd love to stay in a room in that at some point. You also have the Jumeirah Beach, which I hear is pretty cool. Or you have the Palm, like that man-made palm tree looking structure out over the ocean. This massive man-made structure that I think is a hell of an achievement. You have the Dubai fountains next to the Burj Khalifa. Like, I'd love to take a trip to the top of the Burj Khalifa. I think that would be amazing. World's tallest building right now. And yeah, I mentioned Jumeirah Beach, which is the beach overlooking the Burj Al Arab. I think that would be really cool. You also have a bunch of like water parks there, like Wild Wadi or Atlantis at the Palm, which has that one water slide on The Amazing Race that was featured where the girl freaked out for 45 minutes on season 15 of The Amazing Race. Like, I thought that was funny. I would love to visit that. But yeah, so many things to do in Dubai. Like, that was an obvious one. And even Abu Dhabi. I mean, Abu Dhabi looks like a pretty cool city itself. It's got like the Yas Island where you have like Yas Water World and Ferrari World with the world's fastest roller coaster. I would love to ride that at some point. So yeah, like really, the United Arab Emirates and the Persian Gulf in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, like that would be amazing to visit. Hopefully one day I can visit those cities. They're expensive as hell though. They're like Singapore level prices. Speaking of Singapore, that's a honorable mention as well that I forgot to mention is Singapore. But yeah, would love to visit Dubai at some point. Coming in at number 2. Number 2 and number 1. Number 1 was the longest bucket list destination for a while. And then number 2 came along. I switched it to number 1, and then I switched it back to number 2. Number 1, number 2. Ended up sticking with number 2 and number 1 in this order, but it was so tough. It was so tough. But coming in at number 2 is French Polynesia. The island chain in the South Pacific that, with all the overwater bungalows, all the beautiful landscapes, all those islands down there. I mean, you have Tahiti, Bora Bora, Moorea, Raiatea is down there as well. And there's a bunch of other ones. I can't really remember the names. Like the Marquesas Islands would be another part of French Polynesia I'd like to visit. But the main attraction there for me, I mean, yeah, Moorea I think looks really cool. So does Tahiti. I think that looks cool. But Bora Bora, man, I really want to stay on an overwater bungalow in Bora Bora. I think that would be fantastic. And I know the Maldives have overwater bungalows as well, but they don't have views quite like the ones in Bora Bora, especially at the Four Seasons. The Four Seasons at Bora Bora, I just heard so many things about. I would absolutely I'm dying to go there one day. Hopefully I can get out there soon. But again, it's so goddamn expensive. Why do all these destinations have to be so expensive? But yeah, hopefully one day I can get down to Bora Bora. Maybe a honeymoon. Maybe if I ever get married and I decide to have a honeymoon, maybe Bora Bora will be the destination I visit. But yes, I want to visit Tahiti and Moorea as well. And just in general, French Polynesia I think would be absolutely stunning and spectacular. That's why it makes my number 2. The food there as well. I haven't even mentioned the food in any of these places, but yeah, a lot of these places have, like, especially like England. That's another reason why, like England, like British food, I think looks fantastic. That's another reason why I chose it over France. But yeah, like Bora Bora, oh, beautiful. Like crystal clear blue lagoons. They have some of the best snorkeling and scuba diving spots in the world from what I hear. Really want to get out to Bora Bora and stay in an overwater bungalow for a few nights. I think that would be fantastic. So yeah, Bora Bora and French Polynesia come in at number 2. Number 1, for the longest time, like I was flipping between this and Bora Bora. Ended up going with this. Like ever since I was little, I've wanted to go here. For 2 main reasons. Cheese and chocolate. And that's Switzerland. Yes, Switzerland has always been a dream destination of mine. And you might think, wait, cheese and chocolate is what tops Bora Bora? It's more than just that. You also have the Swiss Alps. I think the Swiss Alps, like you have the Matterhorn Mountain, which is what the ride in Disneyland was named after. I think that looks stunning. I've seen it on The Amazing Race. Oh man, I really want to get my ass out to Switzerland at some point. If I could go anywhere in the world right now, it would be Switzerland. I would choose it over Bora Bora, even though I absolutely love the ocean. I love the beach. Switzerland is the ultimate dream destination for me. Like, you also have Zurich, Geneva. I think that would be really cool. Like, maybe even catch a glimpse of Italy on the Alps. I think that would be fantastic. It's a small country, but there's lots to do there from what I know. Like, lots of fun to be had in Switzerland. There's a couple of rivers as well. Lots of mountains. But yeah, Switzerland comes in at number 1 as my top dream destination that I want to visit. So, there are my top 10 dream destinations, guys. What did you think about it? Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of it. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. And what are your top 10 dream destinations? Make sure to leave them down below. Do you agree with this list? Do you disagree? Did I leave some countries off this list? Trust me, I did. I know it was a really tough list to make. But yeah, guys, let me know down below what you thought of this list, and let me know what your top 10 destinations are below. And make sure to hit that subscribe button, guys. We are at 96 subscribers. I want to get to 100 by the end of the year. Please help me get there. I would really appreciate it. We're so close. I really want to get there. It would mean a whole lot to me if you could just hit that subscribe button. Like, I think like 75% of my viewers are not subscribed to this channel. So, yeah, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button for more content to come in the future. So yeah, stay tuned for my next video. And until my next video, I'm not really sure when I'm going to upload that. I'm actually going on vacation with my family next week, and that'll take up both next Saturday and the following Saturday. So I don't know if I'm going to have videos up for those, but we'll see what I can do. But yeah, and make sure to subscribe to my channel for more content to come in the future. There is thunder right outside my house right now. But yeah, until that next video, once again, my name is the California Cougar. And always remember to stay California cool. Peace!